This is episode 4 where I talk about VA loans and the top 2018 real estate hot trends predictions. Welcome everyone to episode 004 of the Ask Jason Gelios Show. I am your host, Jason Gelios, Realtor. Thank you everyone for tuning in and watching these. Had a huge amount of questions come in and a lot of positive feedback regarding the new format of the show. So thank you again. For those who are on YouTube and if you're on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to put that link right here, and also in the comments too, you'll be able to just click and subscribe to my channel so that you get these, because sometimes I upload these before I announce it on Facebook and on my YouTube channel, so that's usually the first place. And my website, it's allabouttherealestate.com. So anyway, we're going to be covering two questions. One question is what are VA loans and who qualifies for those? So that's a great topic. I'm going to get into that. And then I'm going to also share with you the top 2018 real estate trends and predictions. So we're going to go ahead and get into the show. Thanks again. Here we go. Okay, so recently someone asked me, what is a VA loan and who qualifies for those? So VA loans are geared towards veterans who have served in the military or are serving in the military, and it's essentially a mortgage that is backed by the government. Here is the formal term of a VA loan. Okay, it's basically it's available to millions of veterans and active military members. They're easier to get qualified for than a regular conventional loan. They are sizzling away, but they're still offered. Typically, a VA loan is different in terms of the rates that they offer and whatnot. So let's talk about eligibility. Now, eligibility for a VA loan, it's most members of the military, veterans, reservists, National Guard members, they can apply for a VA loan. Now, this is kind of a sad turn of events, but it's true. If a military member has passed away during service, sometimes the spouse can actually apply as well. So a widow of a military member who has passed away in the line of duty, that allows a spouse to actually apply for the VA loan, and there are benefits of that. So now active duty members generally qualify after about 6 months of service. So you don't have to be in the military that long, okay, to apply for this loan. Reservists and members of the National Guard must wait 6 years to apply though. So that's a little bit different, a lot longer waiting period for them. But if you're called to active duty, then you can gain eligibility after 181 days of service. So pretty good loan. Now, the advantages of a VA loan. Why do VA loan? Why apply for this special loan? Well, for one, the loan is guaranteed by the VA. What that means is you typically don't have to have a down payment, although check with your lender regarding that, because sometimes things can change. But as of now, December 2017, you don't typically have to have a down payment. So VA loan does not require mortgage insurance. So if you're getting a decent sized loan, you will save on mortgage insurance, which is huge. So another benefit to our veterans. So it translates that not having the mortgage insurance translates into huge monthly savings. So okay, and then you don't have to save all the money you would have to save for a conventional loan, which is huge. Not everybody can save up a lot of money or a decent amount of money to get a home. So this is an extra benefit. I want to talk about the fees though in regards to a VA loan. Just like FHA, they tend to be a little bit higher. However, you're saving on the other side, and it's a huge benefit. So some of the fees, which by the way, I want to point out that on a VA loan, the fees are typically less expensive than an FHA loan, but more expensive than a conventional loan. So just so that you know that, not terrible though. Don't think, oh my gosh, this can be a lot of fees. It's just, it's there. So typically, here's an example. So a borrower in the armed forces getting a VA loan for the first time with 0 down payment, which is huge, would pay a fee of about 2.15% of the loan amount, to give you an idea. I personally don't think that that's too bad, considering you don't have to have a down payment. So you would be paying that anyway. So sometimes the fee is reduced if, to let's say 1.25, depending on if you put a down payment down of like 10% more. So you can still put down a down payment on a VA loan, and your fees would be a little bit less. But now keep in mind with these loans, VA, FHA loans and all that, is if you're putting less of a down payment down, there's more of a risk to the lender. However, VA and FHA are guaranteed by the government, so lenders, the risk is less because the government's involved. So underwriting requirements, what you have, typically VA or Veterans Affairs, by the way, VA loans are Veterans Affairs loans. They typically do not require a minimum credit score. They will look at your history and all that, but for the most part, they have, lenders will have their own internal requirements for VA loans. I will point out that when I was a mortgage officer, we typically looked for credit reports that were 620 or higher. That was years ago. So just because VA doesn't look at a credit score so much, you typically want to be over a 620. So, okay. Now, you still have to show sufficient income you still have to qualify for a VA loan. You still have to make sure that you can, qualify for the monthly payments. The debt versus income comes into play. So that's not going away. Someone asked me, what happens if I stop paying on a VA loan? All right, well, what's cool about this is that, although most lenders offer this now, is there's special counselors that can help you out, that can walk you through, getting through, let's say, a hard time or something happened. But typically, if you're in the armed forces, you have a pretty solid history, pretty solid job. So, but just know that if you were falling on hard times and you had a VA loan, you can get special counseling. So, and there's a phone number for that. So, which actually, let's share the VA loan phone number for help. It's 877-827-3702, and we'll go from there. So that's VA loans in a nutshell. Okay, so on this question, a couple people actually asked me this. What's going on with real estate in 2018? And that's an awesome question, considering we're at the end of 2017 right now as you're watching this. So I'm going to share with you, there's actually a lot, but I'm going to share with you some quick tips here. I'm not going to dive into this too much, but this is the hot things happening now and as we go into 2018, and these are trends that are increasing. So there's something called smart glass, and it's worth Googling because basically there are companies that offer what's called smart glass. So if you're in your home, right, instead of having blinds that close, right, that you have to close, or you have a remote these days, right, these companies that offer smart glass, they're trying to have it where you don't have any curtains or blinds or anything on your windows. So when the sun starts to go down, your windows would tint so that people outside can't see in, but you can see out. So very, very cool. I'm sure I'll be doing a video on this where maybe I'll get with a company, if there's one in Macomb County, that will show us how this works. But that's a trend that is increasing in demand a little bit. In 2018, they are expecting to have a higher demand compared to 2017. But imagine that you're in your home and you see that your glass tints to where people can't see in as the sun goes down. Some people aren't a fan of that, but quite honestly, that's still, I think the majority of people will love to do that, because think about it, you don't have to clean blinds. Blinds are hard to clean, they're a mess. So, okay, so that's one thing. This one, spiritual gardens, right? So spiritual gardens that kind of help you feel more spiritual. People are putting these in their yard gardens where you can go in and sit and kind of hang out, read a book or whatever. If you have the yard for it, I don't know if yards in a suburb would allow for that. I mean, you could, it would just take up a lot of your yard. But so that's another trend too, is spiritual gardens, giving people time to kind of relax and chill out and think about things. So kitchens that do more than just look pretty. So this is a big one too. We're as a society, believe it or not, we're actually moving towards eating healthy and fresh and gaining knowledge as to what's in our food and whatnot. So what I'm personally seeing are, refrigerators that tell you what's healthy recipes, and they have, the monitor right built into the actual fridge door. And so you can go online on your fridge and look and say, oh, I don't want to eat this or whatever. And then I've even seen it where some fridges or devices in the kitchen per se will share with you, hey, you should try this meal because it's healthier, because this is your goal. So smart kitchens, so to speak, are gaining in popularity. They're huge. Okay, so home robots to the rescue. There's a lot of talk. This is actually gaining huge interest, and in 2018, it's going to blow up even more. So what you have are robots that do the work. We've already seen ads for this. I believe it's $300. It's a iRobot where it charges itself in a station, and it's programmed to go around your house. It cleans and it mops. I may be actually purchasing one of these, so if I do, I'll share this with you. But this is great because it goes out on its own. Now it's $300, but a lot of people want to save time, and so home robots, right? Like we're seeing, home robots are huge, by the way. So what we're seeing is like Amazon and Google. They have these devices where you can just call out to it, order Chinese food for me, and then it orders it for you. So and it's all programmed to like the local place. So we're seeing a lot of that. Home robots are huge. Just know with these devices, make sure that if they have a Wi-Fi connection and if they have a camera on it, make sure that they're off when you don't want personal information getting out. Like if you're talking in your house about bank accounts and all this other stuff, keep in mind that these are devices that could be hacked. So just know that. Black is the new gray. So we're getting back, this is huge by the way, we're getting back into the black, the gray colors, things like that. Some grays are still in style though, it's not going away, but earth tones are nice, but we're getting into black. And there's not just black paint out there, there's like different kind, graphite, charcoal black, things like that. So black is the new gray right now, and that's hot. And I'll probably have a paint expert on who we'll go through a house, and we can talk more in depth about what colors, what palettes, and things like that are hot. So, but black is the new gray. Increased security, smart doors, keypad locks versus your regular key. I'm huge on this. Home security should be number one on your list. It's which brings me back to the home robots trend. The Ring doorbell, where when someone hits your doorbell, right, or they even see it, oftentimes that's an actual deterrent, because you can see on your app who's at your door, and you can talk through it and even press record, screenshot, do all that. So smart security for homes. Your basic alarms aren't really going away because they actually monitor. But there are more affordable programs in place like Simply Safe. Look into that. So, and then to airtight doors. There are companies that make airtight doors where it's extremely airtight, which saves you energy, and they're more secure versus just the regular doors that often have drafts, and you got to buy this stuff to put in the seam. So really airtight doors. Ask your local contractor if they have these. Maybe even the big box stores will have these. But that's security, it saves energy, and it's tighter, it's safer home. So Okay, so another trend, and there's a lot here for 2018. So maximized size yards. People want bigger yards. I've seen this in Macomb County where people are building on oversized lots, and sometimes they're off the main road, but it's a very deep lot, and so people are going with bigger yards, which would allow for the spiritual garden to be in there. So I imagine this would be this would push people more towards the country, maybe, which would mean a longer commute. So that's very interesting, but maximum size yards. So that's battery backup systems. We've already seen this with the sub pump. Battery backups just in case the power goes out, the sub pump will still work. You should have these, but battery backup systems on pretty much everything, which leads us into whole house generators. Generac, I've seen that brand out there more and more. Even in my own area, I've seen more and more houses having this, where if the power goes out, you can run the whole house for X amount of time. I don't know how much time it is. It could be a day, it could be whatever. Just depends, on how that's operated. But whole house generators, backup systems are huge right now. Okay. Okay. And actually, that's all the trends that I'm gonna share with you. There's a lot of them. Obviously, if you have any questions, let me know. But there's a lot of trends. Think security, think robots making life easier and more convenient. You can just talk to something and talk to like a device, and it orders a pizza for you. No more dialing and all this other stuff. It just happens. So there's a lot that's gonna be happening with there. So that is the top 2018 real estate prediction. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed episode 004 of the Ask Jason Gelios Show. I love when you guys comment, when you email me questions, things like that, or when you submit them on my site. Just very huge. So I hope that wherever you're watching this, if you're watching it on YouTube, if you're watching it on Facebook, if you're watching it on Instagram, things like that, like, comment, and share, because this is a value-added show. This is with you guys in mind. I get questions all the time, and so I pick out ones that are going to be great. But ultimately, all the questions will be answered in my show because I do this show weekly. So thank you again for watching, and I hope you guys have a great holiday season. As you're watching this is in between Christmas and New Year's. So have a great holiday season. Enjoy your time, and I'll see you next week.